Good day, Nigeria, and everyone tuning in from across the globe. We have breaking developments from the United States involving President Bola Tinubu and a federal judge who has absolutely had enough of what appears to be deliberate stalling by American law enforcement agencies. Judge Beryl Howell of the United States District Court in Washington has issued what many are calling a final ultimatum to both the FBI and the Drug Enforcement Administration, demanding they stop playing games and release records concerning our president immediately. On February 3rd, Judge Howell released a scathing opinion that practically tore into these powerful American agencies for what she described as delay tactics designed to frustrate the release of President Tinubu's criminal records. These records relate to a narcotics trafficking case from the early 1990s that resulted in Mr. Tinubu surrendering $460,000 to the United States government. This case has been in the public domain for years, especially during the presidential campaigns, but what we are seeing now is an American court trying to force these agencies to be transparent about what they actually have on file. The legal battle started back in June 2022 when Aaron Greenspan, who runs a transparency advocacy group called Plainsight, filed a Freedom of Information request with help from investigative journalist David Hundeyin. That was almost 3 years ago. 3 years of back and forth, and the FBI still has not released a single document, even though they promised to release 2,500 pages in batches of 500 pages each starting from 2023. The judge is clearly not impressed. Judge Howell pointed out that the FBI kept pushing dates. First, they said they would complete searches by August 2025, then September 2025, then December 2025, then January 2026, and now they are asking for February, each time with what the judge called minimal explanation. The DEA is not off the hook either. While they released some documents, they have been holding on to 12 pages for over 6 months, claiming these files are out for consultation with other agencies, but refusing to say when they will actually be available. What makes this even more interesting is that President Tinubu himself initially opposed the release of these records back in 2023. He asked the court to protect his documents while Nigeria's Supreme Court was still deciding whether to uphold his election victory. He argued that he would be adversely affected if the FBI released his records prematurely. Judge Howell granted that request then, but even after the Nigerian Supreme Court upheld his election, these agencies continued to delay. That is what has frustrated the judge beyond measure. So, what exactly did Judge Howell order? She commanded the DEA to provide a detailed explanation of why they redacted 50 pages and withheld 172 pages of Tinubu's records. For those mysterious 12 pages supposedly with other agencies, a DEA agent must now file sworn affidavits explaining page by page when each record was sent out, when the review will be completed, and what steps they have taken to speed things up. If you are finding this breakdown helpful and want to stay updated on major stories affecting Nigeria, please subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. The FBI received even stricter orders. They must provide sworn statements explaining why they keep missing deadlines. They must turn over all non-exempt documents as promised. They must submit the second batch of 500 pages by March 13, and they must have a clear plan to release everything by June 1, 2026. The judge also ordered both agencies to file joint status reports every 14 days, starting February 27 until they complete everything. Every 14 days means these agencies will be under constant court supervision with no room to wiggle. What does this mean for Nigerians? If these agencies comply with the court order, we could be looking at significant revelations in the coming months. The records are expected to shed light on the cocaine trafficking case that has followed President Tinubu for decades. His supporters have always maintained that past issues were legally resolved and that constant focus on events from 30 years ago is politically motivated. His critics argue that full transparency is necessary for any sitting president, especially concerning legal matters in foreign countries. This case shows how America's Freedom of Information Act can be used to compel government agencies to release records about foreign leaders. Judge Howell made it clear she will not tolerate bureaucratic foot-dragging, regardless of who is involved. As we wait to see whether the FBI and DEA will finally comply, Nigerians will be watching closely. June 2026 is the new deadline. What do you think about these developments? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.